So say that again. So what I said was when it comes to your authorship, what always appealed to me was the way that you wrote wasn't you weren't trying to be so you weren't trying to come necessarily from like a professorship or from a
like a true uh, professional author background. Like you
right.
could tell, like
Yeah.
I don't have no school.
Yeah.
They look
Yeah.
at it and be like, "Hey, I see you got potential, but you rough around the edges." But I literally want it to be like that because I want it to be authentically like I'm speaking to you. I don't want it to be read. If I say that motherfucker, like I want it to sound like that, you know. And even if you start a sentence off a paragraph like "and," you know, it's like, hey, you shouldn't start it off like that. But if I see, I know better. But if I'm doing it, I'm doing it on purpose, right? I don't need it to be critiqued like that. I want it to be written a certain way so it be read a certain way. Because if when I'm reading it, believe it or not, when I read my own writing, I get amped up. I be like, oh shit, writing this junk right here,
Yeah.
right? Because I can hear myself speaking it,
Yeah.
and it's a conversation,
So
right?
when you write, like, what's your writing process like? Is it like more stream of consciousness? Is it more like, okay, this is the plan on how I want to execute it, or is it like how do you develop your?
So it's a stream of consciousness. That's it. I just write. I'll go back and break it up. I may have like a so my man Stephen King says you got to just sit down and write. It ain't no I feel like writing. Sit down 2 hours, and if you just write a sentence, then that's a sentence. But just write. Whether you use it or not is irrelevant. Just write. So I always use that. I just write. You know, but it's on topic about whatever I'm whatever it's about. It's not like it's I'm talking about the streets and then I talk about fitness. No, it ain't that. Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm writing whatever like I'm on. Like
Yeah.
right now, I'm still working on the snitching book.
Yeah.
Um, what damn, I forgot the name of it. Uh, snitching is snitching. There's no
Yes.
two sets of rules,
Yeah.
right? So when I sit down and write, it's always that, right? It's always about that. Now it might be in my mind. I have a format, but I'm not that damn professional though. I'm not freaking making cue cards and shit about.
Yeah.
But I do have a format though. Like in my mind, I got a straight format of what it should be, and I'll just be like, not to put too much pressure on yourself to be like how you should track it, whatever. I'm just it's a stream of consciousness. Sometimes I sit down and I might struggle for an hour. Other times, fuck, I write pages in an hour. It's just flowing out, you know. So fucking it got so long now, it's hard to go back and read it. I gotta pack a lunch to read that shit because it takes too long to go back and read.
No, I appreciate that about your writing, and I think that should be how you write. I think your writing should be it should be true to you.
Yeah,
And the reason why I think it's important is because it shows that intelligence doesn't have to look one way.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's the problem with a lot of people who come from where we come from is that we don't think we're intelligent because we don't talk a certain way
yeah,
or we don't um, know how to express ourselves a certain way.
yeah.
But none of that really has to do with intelligence.
Yeah, no, it absolutely doesn't. It absolutely doesn't. I still put the onus on myself to expand the vocabulary, right? Um, because I got an infinity for words. Like I like words. I like definitions. But that's my own personal shit, right? Um,
But you still bring it through your own filter when you
exactly.
express it.
I bring it through my
Yeah.
filter. When I'm speaking to people, people be like, "Damn, you be using big words and shit." I find myself doing it more because as I get older, it's more easily to articulate it and to throw it in like the regular conversation. But I like cultivated that within myself though. So one of my mini battles, man, it's always a goddamn battle, right? I purposely conditioned myself to be a street nigga. Like literally, to stand, to walk, to talk. You know, never hear nobody talk about this, but I fucking made myself do that. In the mirror, standing, wearing my pants a certain way. I did all of that. Now, as a kid, though, I no fucking grown up walking around doing no weird. That's fucking weird. Fucking weirdo, right? But as a kid, I would do that to where that literally, by time I got into my early teens, that shit was effortless. It was just who I was. Nigga, 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 nigga. I mean, just had all this shit together, which came natural, was easy. But I remember myself like literally wanting to stand a certain way, like just doing dumb shit, right? But you think it's cool, whatever. So using that same mindset is what I break out of. So he's like, I wanted to be respected. Everywhere I went, I wanted people to know my name. I wanted the ring. I wanted the respect and the fear that you was this, you was that. You know, when you go everywhere, I wanted that. So I'm like, I got that same energy. Take that same energy. Fuck the streets. I'm gonna take that energy to the fucking boardrooms. I'm gonna take that energy to the entrepreneurship. That same shit. Why I can't get fucking recognition in there? It's the challenge, right? I'm always looking for the challenge. It's like so, like you said, to do the full 180. I did that in the streets. Okay, it's a new challenge now. I got a new fucking adversary. Let me get up in there with everything that I got, and I can finesse these motherfuckers the same way, right? I'm always looking for like why we can't. You know, like if you want to be like them, I don't want to be like them fucking weirdos, whatever. Yeah, I get it. I used to say that same dumbass shit many moons ago, but now it's the fucking battlefield. That's the next battlefield for me. I need to get up in there, right? But that's my own personal shit. It ain't even about feeling accepted, man. I'm on a goddamn hunt, man. We apex predators around here. That's the new fucking Willie Mammoth I gotta take down. I gotta get up in there. Why can they give money? Intellectual properties, man. I'm smart enough. I can get up in there being myself though. I can get up in there being myself. I ain't gonna do no bootlicking, no motherfucking, no grinding, none of that weird shit. I'm gonna be myself. And you're gonna just navigate the same way. That's it. And that's what I be telling brothers, like, it ain't about that, man. Y'all niggas always looking at shit from a street perspective. Fuck a street perspective. If you can look at that street perspective and put a spin on it to get back to the money in a legal way and to learn how to use that same finesse to finesse going into different avenues and different jobs and shit like that, then that's cool. But if you gonna just look at it like niggas ain't keeping it real, I don't keeping it real like what? Right? And then I ask a simple question: do you want your seed not to excel? Well, and niggas stop making arguments and rebuttals on dumb shit. If you ain't gonna get that same shit to your seed, then you just fucking with me because you want to give me a hard time. Yeah. Try to give me a mind fuck.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because it reminds me of like I always said that my first 120 was sports.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't have my pops, so a lot of the lessons about manhood I had to learn through the filter of sports.
Yeah.
And a lot of those lessons are still used today. As a man, so yeah, it sounds like you're saying something similar. Is you learned your foundation in the streets, but you're not stuck there. You're taking the lessons from that and bringing it into a modern mentality
Yeah.
to excel in other worlds. You know,
Yeah. So
because in a book, you ever read the book? It's a samurai book called Hagakure, I think.
yeah, exactly. Hell yeah.
And there's it's one of the sayings in there. It says it's bad when you make one thing into two. So looking at that, I was perplexed. I would sit on that for the longest. Like, what does that mean? It's bad to make one thing into two. And then the way that I ended up breaking it down for me was everything's the same. All your experiences that you go through are the same in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to be able to use your mind to figure out how this applies to this.
Yeah.
You go through one experience, you could take the lessons from that and apply it to the next experience.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah,
That's a fact. That's a hell of a way to put it. That's a fact. Cause
yeah,
so my street shit is the foundation, right? And people have different scenarios, different experiences about how they came up in the streets. I got taught a lot of men shit. Uh, like handshakes, talk eye to eye, fuck it up, walk upright, you know, like shit like that, you know, and it intimidate, like people can debate whether that's man shit or not, but still, just like how to be honorable on your shit, how to stand on your square. And I still use that shit, but I know exactly where I got it from. I know exactly what was going on, right? My pops didn't tell me that shit. I learned that shit from the streets, right? And uh, and what I know now, like you said, you take two into one. That's regular man shit though. That's what these dudes be talking about now. Just like regular man shit. That's man shit.
yeah,
You know, the shake firm handshake, look him in the eye, you know, be candid, talk direct, you know, shit like that. Like it's the same shit. You know, so it's one and the same. You take that and bring it in here. I use this shit all the time at work. I mean, I use that shit all the time. Now, granted, you can be rough around the edges, boy. Woo, you can be rough because I be telling street dudes like that street shit ain't normal. You motherfuckers is traumatized,
yeah.
right? Motherfuckers like, nah, them motherfuckers is pussies. Right. So you definitely can say that shit, right? You can say it, and I absolutely get it. It's just that when the overwhelming majority civilized fucking world is just going out to fucking Disneyland Magic Mountain and eating whatever, and people is in there being civil, and you come in there with this wild ass shit, hooping and hollering and motherfucking and all this shit. It's like, is that white shit? No, nigga, you unruly and uncivilized, nigga, and you don't give a fuck. It's just like, I ain't trying to be like them. And it's like, but you know better because when you go to your grandmother's house, you don't do that shit. Right? So you know better though. But at your grandmother's house, it's just grandma. But when you go out to dinner, it's like, why I gotta be like I'm white? It's like, no, nigga, it ain't about acting like you white. It's about being civil, right? And that's what I'm saying. Like this would be rough around the edges, but they do not get that perception. They don't see it like that. It's just like I'm gonna be who the fuck I'm gonna be. That's why I'm motherfucker go up in some fucking hair shooting up at the top and shit. Just like I don't give a fuck yeah, right? And the motherfucker won't even get a job because he just like, nigga, I'm gonna keep this banana in my head or nigga what? Nigga, I ain't gonna work then. Like, oh, niggas be on that bullshit though, which I get it. It's just like with nigga, you better open up an orange juice stand or something. You better get your shit together.
Yeah, start driving Uber Eats or something.
Exactly, you better do something. So, brother, I'm like, because the fact of the matter is, if you gonna play ball on this motherfucker, right, wrong, or indifferent, the chessboard is already laid out. If you want to play that type of, if you want to play on their board, you gonna have to play. Or don't, nigga, go move to the Philippines or something. I don't know. Go do whatever you go do, you know. But for me, it just all go back to reality and just speaking the real. And just be like, you know, you can make any choice you want to choose. That's you know, you can do whatever. But crawling into this fucking tree, you can do whatever. But if you got any ambitions and any hopes of building, and most of these dudes got kids and shit, you know, it's like if you got any ambitions and any hopes to do anything, you gotta play. You gotta start somewhere. So go get the job, man. That fucking do off. Get your fucking haircut or some shit. You know.
Walking around like Cam Newton and stuff.
Exactly. Right. See, Cam can do it.
Yeah,
Cam's paid.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And you know, you get people be like, so why it depends on my hair? And look, me of all motherfuckers, you fucking contradiction, paradoxical ass motherfucker. Right. So that was my thing. I was like, I ain't cutting my hair. That braids, whatever. The work ethic and making some right moves, being able to shut the fuck up, listen, follow instructions, big comprehension level. the intellectual properties got me over, right? And then what you learn how to do, right? Being in that atmosphere, I learned how to talk that talk. So now people not looking at how I look because they did at first.
Yeah.
They fucking absolutely did. But now it's like the results outshine that. Like nobody even fucking they don't even care now. You know, but now I know how to talk. I know what to say. So it's like when they see you, they might think, what is this motherfucker gonna say? Once you start talking, now they engage. They're like, shit, okay. Motherfucker leave, probably driving home, like, I didn't think that motherfucker's gonna be talking like that.
So it's essentially supreme mathematics right there.
Exactly.
People take everything on face value first, knowledge. They do their knowledge.
Exactly.
Who is it? You know what I mean? And then once you start, that's why it's important that you speak clearly,
Exactly.
precisely, so people can
Exactly.
see who you really are
Exactly.
and get a clear understanding of